Chapter 1001, the decisive battle of monsters on Onigashima, has arrived, and I'm glad it took us straight into the action after Chapter 1000. I could have seen Oda potentially including a couple of panels of other areas of Onigashima here, like looking at what Yamato and Momo are doing, or the rest of the Straw Hats. But he devoted every single page and picture to this crucial fight between the old generation and the new, which was a great choice. And so we can see that Luffy's able to use the fully upgraded level of Haki that he learned in the prison, as well as future observational Haki in battle. We don't have to sit by and let him gradually learn how to use it on his feet, which is a pretty common trope in other manga and anime. But I'm sure Luffy's taking this seriously, so going all in from the start with upgraded Haki on top of Gear 4th is kind of expected. And this frame here, where Kaido questions whether Luffy is comparable even to Shanks, Whitebeard, Odin, Roger, and the Captain of the Rocks, is just spoiling us even more after seeing Luffy's declaration that he will become the Pirate King last chapter as well. Oda is really reinforcing through Chapter 1000 and 1001 that the outcome of this battle will truly set Luffy onto a concrete path to become the Pirate King, and so the dramatic effect here and in the chapters to follow is just going to be insane. But this panel also raises even more questions about who the Rocks were, how a captain who was powerful enough to command both Kaido and Big Mom could have been beaten, what kind of impact he and his crew had on the world when they were active, and why it's such a mystery. After looking at this panel and thinking, I have a feeling we'll learn about the Rocks more in depth or fully the next time we see Shanks. And considering that Oda stated Shanks will be making his move in 2021, that'll hopefully come soon. Shanks would be the one who I feel has the knowledge of the past and would be also willing to divulge it to the crew. But then again, we don't really know the whole situation with Shanks after the Reverie. He's kind of a mystery. Before I continue, if you enjoy One Piece, anime, or manga, subscribing would be a huge help. I post a video every time a new chapter comes out, so you can always look to be up to date. Enjoy the video. But back to the battle, this is truly the moment we've been waiting for years. To rival this growth in strength and potential that we see in Luffy, we're again reminded of the enemy, or enemies I guess, that he's fighting. That the ability to see the future is worthless if you aren't quick enough to act on it. Kaido strikes Luffy just like before, and thankfully doesn't one-shot him this time. But it's a notice that Luffy still has not done enough to be able to surpass an Emperor. While he's basically surpassed the barrier of not being able to harm Kaido, being unable to avoid his attacks and having lower durability in general is just as significant of a wall in front of him, and is something that he'll have to figure out over the next couple chapters. Big Mom reminds us that Kaido is still playing with his food, even if he was hurt by Luffy once. So I imagine when Kaido gets really serious, that'll be when Luffy has to bring out the big guns. And I just love this scene between Kid, Luffy, and Troph. In the midst of this intense fighting, Oda is still able to inject such humor. The moment was absolutely hilarious. It was perfectly in tune with the characters. Three pirates whose aspirations do rival each other and want to cement their reputations into the new generation of the world. And this whole pissing contest between who flinches was great. The facial expressions were perfect. Oda is really the master of combining humor and action, and it's just a testament to how great of a manga One Piece is, that in one of the biggest chapters to date, he can still do something like this. But one of the biggest parts of this chapter was that Zoro put on the bandana, something that we've sparsely seen post-time skip.
Alright, this is it, people, let's move, let's go, 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 go!
From what I'm aware, he's only put it on during the final battle at Fishman Island and against Pika and Dressrosa, neither of which were really a challenge to him. And so again, as I've been saying throughout the last 5 chapters or so, this is also Zoro's time to shine just as much as Luffy's. With Enma by his side, it's the first time in probably the last 10 years One Piece has been airing that he'll be truly challenged by his opponent, and I have a feeling he'll have a huge impact on this battle. Actually, I know he will. But of course, he'll have to grow throughout, just like I expect most of our protagonists will here, since he expectedly couldn't cut Kaido with Killer. As he releases Enma's power, we might see something incredibly draining like when Luffy first used Gear 2nd or 3rd, because as we know, the sword is very difficult to wield. It's even more reason to be excited at seeing Zoro push to his limits here, and really showing what he learned over the time skip and what he's learned afterwards as well. I also loved seeing Zoro use Kinemon's move against Prometheus here. It was just a great nod to Punk Hazard and the fact that Zoro has not been complacent these past couple years just because there was no enemy to really challenge him. He's been constantly learning and improving, and we're going to see the results here against Kaido and Big Mom. And we also get a similar type of competitive scene here between Zoro and Killer, just as we saw between Trafalgar, Luffy, and Kid. Reminiscing on how Zoro annihilated Killer the last time they fought, and how both of them are just as ambitious as the central 3 pirates of the worst generation. Killer is kind of a joke amongst the 5 of these, so I hope that he also gets an important moment in this fight. And as we see Trafalgar, Luffy, and Kid all take huge shots at Kaido, he comes out of it seemingly unharmed in his Devil Fruit form. So yeah, clearly Luffy's heightened level of Haki aren't going to do the trick in winning here. They are more of just a declaration to show that Luffy has grown significantly and has potential to beat Kaido, instead of actually being able to beat him right now. So I expect all 5 of these Worst Generation members to grow significantly in this fight. I mean, they have to, or they die. It's a fight of whether their bodies can match their boundless ambitions, if the new generation has what it takes to overcome the old. This chapter was great. I mean, there's nothing really to complain about when you get a full chapter of some of the strongest characters in this series really fighting it out on even ground, or at least what seems to be even right now. I think this fight would already be challenging against Kaido alone, but the fact that Big Mom is there as well is just absolutely insane, certainly not something I would have seen coming a couple dozen chapters ago. There is no escape route. It's all or nothing, and so I'm really looking forward to seeing the Worst Generation being pushed to their limits, and hopefully overcoming them against these indomitable foes. As always, this has been the Anime Culture Corner. I hope you enjoyed the video. Don't forget to like and subscribe for future in-depth show, manga, and character analyses.